You're listening to the Pittsburgh
Howdy freaking do. It's Tiger Bomb Tom from the Pittsburgh Piledriverpodcast. Where the hell is everybody else this week, you ask? Well, I'm doing this because we're skipping an episode this week, but I wanted to get something out there kind of fast for Fast Lane pay-per-view or premium live event that just happened here the other night. And hot take, I was not pleased with this. Not pleased with this premium live event. There's so much to get into, and I'm gonna do that. We're gonna go through it one thing at a time. Now let me take a step back and say, overall, technically, the wrestling on the card was good. With a really really great main event at the end, and that I'll give credit where credit is due, but I got some problems. I got some issues with this premium live event, and not just because I fucking bombed on it with the Cruiserweight title picks. That is part of it, but you know, let's just go ahead and get into it here. So, the first match I want to talk about is the match with Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso, and this was for the undisputed WWE tag team championship, whatever the hell you want to call it. It was for the tag team titles. Okay. Overall, you know, it as far as the wrestling goes itself, good match, lots of good back and forth and everything like that. But why? Why in the hell do you take the titles off of the Judgment Day, who have eaten so much shit sandwiches for such a long time? Now you finally put all the gold on them. You flip-flop the North American title back and forth off of Dirty Dom, but you put it back on him for reasons we have yet to understand why that whole thing flip-flopped from No Mercy, you know, over to Trick Williams and then back to Dom on Raw. I don't understand the booking there. I have no idea. That seems like a very Vince-esque thing to do, but I digress. You put the title back on Dirty Dom. So now the Judgment Day is back to being draped in gold. Cool. Rhea's got her title. Haven't seen it defended in a while, now that I think about it. Dom's got his title back. The Judgment Day, you got Finn Balor and you got Damian Priest. The fucking company hasn't tried to push Finn Balor really successfully into holding the title at all. They had their chance. They could have done that. They didn't. And so you get Finn Balor and Damian Priest these tag titles. And then you have the established team, because you have an established stable. It's been around for a little bit. And you have them lose Cody and Jey. Why? Makes no fucking sense in the world. None at all. I don't understand it. And maybe I can't see the forest through the trees, but Jesus Christ alive, I'm so sick of times whatever established teams or established stables are losing to fucking Guy 1 and Guy 2 that are put together. Now, you could argue the same thing, like, oh, well, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. No, they're best friends. They've been through the business together, this and that. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso aren't best friends. They didn't come up through the business together. They haven't had a long storied back and forth or anything like that. It's fucking Guy 1 and Guy 2 slapped together. Let's make a tag team, and for some reason, we're going to put the titles on them. I don't fucking understand it. Cody's first title that he won should have been a singles title, and that's a whole nother can of worms. Anyways, but man, what the hell is going on with this? I don't understand. Are they gonna flip flop, pop potato these titles back and forth to the Judgment Day too? I don't know. I don't understand it. It makes no fucking sense at all. You should be having Cody and Jay eyeing for that world heavyweight title that Seth's got. I don't get it. I don't understand. Somebody please help me fucking understand this. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2. Oh my god. It involves another tag team match. This time the 6-man tag team match. We had Carly. Well, I'll get into that. We had the Latino World Order of Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar with Zelina Vega hanging out at ringside there. Versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. And it was supposed to be beforehand that they weren't sure who was going to fill that third spot along with Rey and Santos. It was one of the other members of Latino World Order because I guess they had both been attacked recently or whatever. And Rey makes a call. And his phone call apparently was to freaking Carlito. Because Carlito showed up in this match. And first of all, whatever. That's fine. Carlito comes back. I'm fine with Carlito coming back. That's all well and fine. My biggest problem with this is that they should have did it before the bell. If you really want to get technical, and I know it's professional wrestling. You have to have you have to suspend your disbelief or whatever. Blah blah blah. Listen, the fucking bell rang. The match was already officially underway. Carlito technically shouldn't even have been a legal competitor. So let's put a little bit of fucking believability into this. Let's have some semblance of rules and regulation. Otherwise, who fucking cares? Had fucking Zelina Vega get up in there, then who cares? Whatever. Then you have a 3-on-3. Whatever. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Again, this doesn't make sense. Carlito comes in after the fact, and all of a sudden he's a legal competitor. Why? No, match was already underway. Fucking bell rang. You had your legal competitors in the ring. Sucks to be you, Latino World Order. You were fighting in a handicap. You could have had them come back. You didn't have to have Carlito come back. You could have had Rey and Santos go over and be even stronger. But, of course, regardless, if it went that way or the way that it did, which, again, pisses me off, it fucking doesn't do anything for the Street Profits. You have Bobby Lashley trying to make the Street Profits, trying to groom them and, make them into, a little bit more vicious, a little, turn them heel, basically. Trying to give them that killer instinct, whatever. I mean, they look great. I like them with Bobby Lashley. I mean, if you want to call it the Hurt Business 2.0, that's fine. Those were my thoughts. But I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand why the LWO needed that fucking victory. Why not, if you wanted to bring Carlito back for whatever pop? Because, let's face it, I'm sorry, Carlito's not going to be back around for, for a long term. And if he is, and I'm wrong, whatever, I'll admit when I'm wrong. But they brought him back in Puerto Rico because reasons. Just the same thing as Zelina Vega having her match whenever they had, what was it? Was that Payback? Was that the one that was in Puerto Rico? I don't know. I don't have anybody here on the pod with me right now to correct me or not. But regardless, we'll just call it, the Puerto Rican Premium Live event. You had Zelina Vega in a title match, reasons. You had Carlito come back, reasons. And you had Carlito come back this time. Is he going to be around for a long time, or is he just come back just to fill in the spot to get a pop? Whatever. It's either way, it's dumb, and I don't like it. You should have had the Street Profits go over. Build up the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Build up this relationship between them. It just feels like that. They just got started, and now they eat this loss. And I know it's only one loss, but god damn it, come on. Fucking figure it out. God almighty. Then I'll move into the women's triple threat match here. Now, let me be clear that I have no problem booking wise with Io Sky retaining. That's all well and fine. I actually I'm happy in the sense that Charlotte Flair didn't come back and immediately lull Charlotte wins. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that in the bigger picture of things. But in my own little personal bubble world, man, the one fucking time that I don't bet against Charlotte is the one time that I should have. Any other time you go against Charlotte, you get burned. I don't understand it. Thank you, WWE, for, finally doing something right in the sense of, in the grander scheme of things, booking-wise, having Io Sky retain. That's fine. But god damn it, man, am I irritated at the fact that the one time that I don't bet against Charlotte is the time that I should have. The other problem I had with this match was that there were some moments that kind of looked a little off, chemistry-wise. It just looked a little off. And I get that not every single wrestling match has to be a perfectly choreographed ballet of, transitions and moves and everything like that. And, I get it. Sometimes it makes more sense to have it look a little rough and have it look a little, for lack of better terms, a little sloppy. But I should say maybe look more like an actual fight. You know what I mean? I get that. I really do. But some of the chemistry, I don't know. Some of it just seemed off a little bit at times. Other than that, great for Io Sky. Great for the fact that lull Charlotte wins did not actually happen. But man, 0 for 3. 0 for 3 on these fucking matches that I picked, and let me tell you, it hurts. Oh boy. Moving on, getting into the other tag team match of the night, the one that actually went the way that I thought it might. John Cena and LA Knight against the Bloodline, comprised of Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. I admittedly, and it is well documented that I don't get to keep up on the weeklies. When the hell did Paul Heyman start going ghost white? What happened? Did he just decide to stop coloring his hair? Or is this part of the story? What is going on there? Paul Heyman looked like he aged by another 20 years. He is just ghost white. That aside, the match was really good. It's I was kind of surprised that Cena was in there for as long as he was, and taking the bulk load of the match. I thought maybe LA Knight would have been doing more of the workhorse job on that side of the team, and Cena would have come in with the hot tag save or whatever. But man, it just goes to show Cena can still go. So good for him. He's well conditioned. I personally kind of wish that Cena would, cut his hair back down to the high and tight to kind of try to hide that bald spot. But you know what? If he's okay with it, so be it. Just a personal suggestion. That's all. But good match. Obviously, it did well for Cena and LA Knight to go over, especially with LA Knight getting the pin. They look good. Makes Cena look strong. Number one, because he was in there doing the majority of the work for that team. I mean, fuck. I don't think I'd have to go back and watch again, but I don't recall if LA Knight got in there until he got the hot tag from Cena at all. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Was he in there at all until after the hot tag? Like, I don't think he was. I think it was pretty much just Cena versus the lesser Uso and Mini Umanga for the majority for all of that match. But and it'll be interesting to see where this goes moving forward with the Bloodline. And I know I say that, and there's probably some eye rolls because it's like, oh my god, the Bloodline's still a thing. Why do we still care? Well, because reasons. Until Roman loses that title, this storyline is going to continue. So could be WrestleMania 40, could be even beyond. Who knows? Guess we'll wait and see. And then the last match of the night, which was by far my favorite of all of them. My only disappointment with it was that I wish I would have put my 5-pointer on it instead of just a 1. But Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins. You can't see me doing the air quotes right now, but I am. Freaking Rollins. Versus Shinsuke Nakamura in the last man standing match. That was for the World Heavyweight title. Great match all around. Really, really good. They had, Shinsuke basically had Seth on the ropes, so to speak, so many times. Just makes Seth look really, really strong. This is a match that, again, I was not disappointed in the match itself or anything like that. Was not disappointed in the result. Makes Seth look like $1,000,000. Shinsuke still looks strong, even in defeat. And if let me throw a little, let's hypothesize here. If Shinsuke had won, if it had gone the other way, Seth still looked like $1,000,000. They both came out looking strong. If Shinsuke would have won, again, I would have had no issue with that. It would have been nice to give Shinsuke a little title run, maybe up until Royal Rumble or maybe up until Mania. I would have personally been happy, regardless of how this match turned out. I would have been happy with the result either way. Great match. Great physicality, really, really good psychology too. Shinsuke going after targeting the back and everything a lot. Just a great match all around. Really, really good. If if for some reason, if you weren't planning on watching WWE Fast Lane, if there's one match that I would suggest you go back and watch, it would be this match. Because it was definitely the best match on the card, and rightfully deserved the main event. I'm glad it did. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad for, even though as big of a name as John Cena is, I'm glad that they didn't just force feed that into the main event spot. Because I feel like that would have done a disservice to the World Heavyweight Championship. The title's still new. It was only introduced earlier this year. You want to start building the prestige of that thing. You want to start making it feel like it is that it's on the same level and on the same playing field as the WWE Undisputed Universal, whatever the fuck they're calling it, title. I don't know, because we haven't seen Roman Reigns for a hot minute. So So whatever his title is called. um, I feel like you really need to try to build that up on par. Make it give it the perception that it feels like it's on par with that title as well. But I feel like we talked about it in the last episode, about a little bit of the perception. We may have talked about it even 2 episodes ago in the in our picks episode. But either way, it came up with a little bit of discussion. I think it might have actually come up in the picks episode now that I'm recalling, talking about Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship run, stuff like that. I know Beef was, is not as impressed. I personally have no problem with it. And if you want to know what the other fellas think of it, well, then you can ask them for their opinions, or maybe they'll get on and do a recording themselves. I don't know. Find out. But in any case, I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with this and who's going to be Seth's next opponent, because off the top of my head, I can't think of what big heel name you would put up against Seth next. I mean, just looking from the people that were on the card for this show tonight, Bobby Lashley would probably be like the only heel that I could see. Otherwise, you're kind of doing like face versus face stuff if you did either Seth versus Cody or Seth versus Jay, but they got the tag titles now, so what the hell's going on there? You already did Seth and Finn Balor. I guess you could go back to that well again, but if you were going to go back to that if you were going to do that and you were going to have Finn Balor go over, I guess you could have done that already, but maybe they didn't want to do that right away after Seth getting the title. I don't know, or maybe I don't know. I can't begin to understand WWE's booking process at times. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what pans out. Now, I'm not sure what the next premium live event is here. Give me 1 second while I do a little bit of the Googles and get onto WWE's main page here. Or not. And there we go. Let's see what shows are coming up. I'm not too sure what the next premium live event is for WWE. But what do we got coming up? Not too sure. I've not seen it on the schedule, so I apologize for that. But I mean, if nothing else, Survivor Series. Well, actually, it probably would be Survivor Series because it's October now, so we're going into it. So that makes sense. Survivor Series coming up in November. It's usually right before Thanksgiving. So, that week of Thanksgiving, it was Sunday nights, but now WWE runs their premium live events on Saturdays. I don't know. I don't know why they switched. So I'm wondering if it'll be that full almost a full week before Thanksgiving. But we'll see what happens there. We'll see if they get a War Games match. I don't know. I'm having a hard time seeing where they're going with this World Heavyweight title picture before the Rumble and leading up to Mania. I'm wondering what their plan is for Cody, what their plan is for Jay. I don't know. Not 100% sure. So this is really a whole wait and see mentality. And I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to not be that not have that mentality of, well, I want it and I want it now, instant gratification. But man, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And there was a lot for me personally, there was a lot that, some things that didn't make sense on this Fastlane premium live events. Overall, not my favorite of the year so far. And again, not just because of picks, because I haven't been at the top of the food chain as far as the cruiserweight title for a little bit now. But overall, I've definitely enjoyed a lot of the premium live events that have been put on. I thought they've all been really good. But this one, not as much. Kind of a miss. I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Drop us a line over at pittsburghpiledriverpodcast at gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of WWE Fastlane. While you're also doing that, if you're sending a message, the pittsburghpiledriverpodcast at gmail.com. I'm not going to spell it out for the sake of Godsmack, because if you can't figure out email by this point, then sucks to be you. But, if you're doing that, why not send us a Stump the Champs? Yeah, that's right, because we're no longer chumps. We are champs once again. Send us a Stump the Champs. And if you do that, make sure you send 2 emails. First email with your question to try to stump the champs. Second email with the answer, and in that email, make sure you put some sort of line of dialogue before the answer, so it does not pop up in the preview. You know how email works. Apparently not Godsmack. You know that you can kind of see a preview of whatever your email is, and whenever you have it in the inbox. So make sure we don't see the answer in the preview. Otherwise, you'll be disqualified. You'll get nothing. We'll berate you, and you'll have wasted your time. Other than that, make sure you go check out the latest episodes that we have up. Both our picks episodes and our review of NXT No Mercy and AEW Wrestle Dream. They are both up on the podcasting platforms. And again, if you don't remember where that's at, I'm going to let you know right now. You can listen to the podcast over on Google Podcasts, over on Spotify, and also on Anchor.fm. Or is that Anchor FM? I don't know, because I don't use Anchor. I always listen to them on Google Podcasts or over on our YouTube page, Pittsburgh Pile Driver Podcast. Head on over to the YouTube channel and give a like and give us a subscribe. The picks episode is up on the YouTube channel, and I imagine that the No Mercy and Wrestle Dream review episode will be up in the coming days. So, other than that, if you haven't already, make sure to go check out our fabulous sponsors, and I say that with all the nepotism in the world. You can check out my page, Casual Gaming Dad. That is on Facebook, on YouTube, and over on Twitch at Casual Gaming Dad 84. We got merchandise over at gouldgaming.com, where you can get your very own Pittsburgh Pile Driver Podcast t-shirt. Make sure to check out my section of the shop over there for that. Make sure to go check out some of the other guys' pages too. Go check out Poot the Bard. Every so often he gets the bug to go ahead and stream and record and do stuff there. So check him out over on his pages. Search him out. You'll find him. Twitch, YouTube, things of the nature like that. Beef the Legend. Go check out some of his videos. I know he'll post his Beef Raw videos sometimes talking about things going on in the wrestling biz there. So make sure to go support his page. And while you're at it, while you're still heading over on into YouTube land, go check out Frig Off Ransom. I don't believe there's been a new video recently, but he has a fantastic archive of hilarious content. So go give him a like and a subscribe and share him out, and tell a friend, because he's a good boy. He's the goodest of boys. All right, that wrap up my my hot take on WWE Fast Lane. Again, let us know what you think, and we'll catch you guys here whenever we get the next recording up and going. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next one. And this is where there would normally be some sort of like clever stinger, but I don't have anything to bounce off of anybody, and there hasn't been. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.